I'm Brainerd Carey, Director of Praxis Center, and today we're going to talk about an unveiling party and what that means. So this is a way to build an audience, right? It's a way to generate more collectors, essentially. So this is a pretty simple process, and an unveiling party is something you might have heard of before. You might have been inviting to an unveiling party. And in terms of art, what it means is the following. Imagine there's one person that owns a piece of your art, preferably not a family member, but somebody who has friends who also have money and the means to buy more art, right? One friend who has bought or owns one piece of your art in their home, or maybe is about to. You can have what's called, you can talk to them about what's called an unveiling party. An unveiling party literally means that either the work is veiled, right? You hang that work in their apartment. It's a new piece, their apartment or house. There's maybe a small veil over it, a little piece of cloth, so you can't see the work. And then there's a little cocktail party. People are invited over for just wine or snacks and not wine, but usually, a little cocktail, some wine and some snacks. And and the party is just an unveiling party. You're celebrating this new piece of art. So what that means for the collector, right? Like, again, let's say this is your friend, right? Your friend that you sold a piece of art to fairly recently, for example, or you could even work out something with them. But let's say you sold a piece of art recently to a friend or a collector that you know, and you know they have friends with more money. Say, hey, I have this idea. Would you want to do an unveiling party? What that means is there'll be a small celebration about the fact that you bought this work, and we will unveil it to a small crowd of maybe 5 people we have over for a party at your house. That's the idea, is that people come to your house to see this new work that you've bought and celebrate it. I'll be there and they'll meet me. I'm speaking as the artist, how you would propose it to the collector or friend, and say, and we'll have a little event, some wine or snacks, whatever. So this is a model that's used in a lot of different ways. Before this talk, I was looking up other like unveilings online. How's that term used in art? And I saw, different places doing an unveiling for a mural. There was a mural that was painted on the side of a new business. They had an unveiling party, which means people came to the outside. They all cheered. They didn't cut a ribbon, but there was a little talk by the artist, and there was a band that played there. It was an unveiling party. Everyone's there talking about the artist, essentially, and you're there, the artist, as well. That was a mural one. There was one for an unveiling of a poster. It was these were ones that I was just reading online. It was a company that was, I think, an opera company, and they had just made a new poster. So you could come to their lobby, and they were having an unveiling party of this poster, a new poster design for their new season. And you got a free poster if you came. But it was an unveiling party to kind of network. So in the case of artists, in the case of you and your studio and your sculpture or your paintings, an unveiling party means a collector that's bought one of your pieces before is convinced by you to host a small gathering of maybe 5 people, 10 if you want, more or less, And the idea, the theme of this party is to celebrate the fact that they've bought your work. And you unveil it. It's kind of exciting, and it's a fun reason to get together. It's a nice low, stress reason to get together, not a big holiday, not anything expected, just very kind of sober event. You're talking about art. And at this event, this is up to you. You could give a little talk. Typically, and you probably even have this image, right, from movies. The collector is over at the piece. It's slightly veiled in the wall. There's a small circle of people, maybe 6, 8 people standing around. And the collector's saying, this is a recent work I got from my friend who's an artist, and I'm really proud that I bought this. We've had it hanging for a little while, but we're unveiling it today officially, and so I'm telling you a little bit about it. Maybe it's an oil painting, a little bit about the artist if they want to, and then they unveil it, or they talk a little bit and they say, I'd like to introduce the artist, and the artist, of course, is you. and you say, hi, I'm the artist, I painted this is, or whatever it is, this is my, construction. You don't have to introduce it, and then say, thank you all for coming here, but you can say a few words like that, and then goes back to the host, and the host unveils it, takes the piece off the artwork, and everyone's, happy, right? You're looking at artwork. That's why we're all here. Why they're all here at the party. So that's the idea. And then what happens after that? Well, it's a little mingling, right? These are people who have money, they're networking, and they're seeing, wow, that art looks good in my friend's house. It increases the likelihood that they're going to ask you about how they could get work from you. It builds your network in a subtle way without having to go out and reach for it. You're getting third-party endorsement, essentially, right, from the collector who's saying, I love this artist, I love this person, this is what she made, this is what he made, and it's in my home, and I'm proud of it. So that's where you could network with other people, and in a casual way. You just have a little wine or water and a snack, and you're talking about art, your art, and purchasing and owning your art. So it's a great way to network, and it's a great way to use the connections that you already have, because you may know people who bought a piece of your work and think, wow, I wish I could, maybe they wish they could help you more, or have said something like that. And this is how they can do it. Throw a minimal party, and it really means like 5-6 people come to the party for this unveiling. So, okay, that's the talk. This is a kind of a short idea. I want these live talks, a lot of them, to be like actionable ideas that you could run with. And this is one that I'd like to focus on. So I'm going to take your questions in a second, but I'm also going to summarize what I said today. So we're talking about a way of creating an unveiling. And unveiling means what you imagine. There's perhaps your work of art on the wall of a collector. It's veiled. There's a piece of cloth over it. There's a small circle of people standing around that have come to a gathering, and the collector talks a little bit about your work, and maybe you say a few words after that. The work is unveiled. The cloth comes off it, and it's revealed in a kind of dramatic fashion to the group of small people that are there. I'm suggesting that you create one of these unveilings, which is good for the artist, it's good for the collector, and it's nice for friendships around the idea of buying art to be created. I'm suggesting you create one of these, you take an action to talk to someone who's bought your work in the past that you feel comfortable with, or maybe someone who is wealthy and you don't talk too much, you don't feel that comfortable with, but you could pitch this to them if you can get their ear, which is, hey, would you like to have an unveiling party at your house? And what that means is I'd give a little talk about the work, no more than 2 minutes, or maybe you won't. But what it means is, we veil the work for one day, you invite over 6 friends, and, we all have a gathering over, a little champagne or wine and celebrate the fact that you bought this work. That's all. A little networking for the artist and a nice reason to get together. That's the sum total of it. Other things could happen at unveilings. There could be something that's given away, but really that's enough. I like to keep it really, really simple, because it's a powerful tool for you then to meet other collectors and network with other people who are loving being there and seeing this work of art in someone's home. So, okay, that's the talk for today. I want to thank you guys for being members and saying kind, supportive, loving things on each other's posts. To me, that's what it's all about, community of artists. There's all these actionable things to do, there's classes to take, but support is what keeps everything moving along, I think, and always needed. And also, I'm going to answer the questions now, if you have any, but if you guys have any other topics you want me to talk on, please let me know. I think one's coming up about art fairs and other things. And again, I'll be announcing more about the live studio visit Zoom meetings in here. So you could have a studio visit with me, or I may bring on other people. So a lot more is happening. Don't suggest topics to be discussed here. So I hope this was helpful talk today, and thank you guys for being here. So I'll answer your questions now. Should you propose bringing the wine and cheese? Bill says, yeah, you could. You could propose bringing the wine and cheese, absolutely. And they'll probably say, "Fine, I won't do that." But you could absolutely propose doing doing it all, because it's a low tech setup really for them. It's not a big celebration or serving of food. The point of it is just the art. So Bill, yeah, you could offer to pay for that, and you could offer to help in any other way that stresses them out about this if they think that's work. But for a lot of people, it should make them feel like this is a nice excuse to invite people over to their home that that isn't about dinner or something more involved. Is how I track and interact with collectors or people who buy my work. Yeah, Nicole's saying, yeah, how to track or interact with people who collect or buy your work. That's right, because maybe this sounds like a good idea, but who do you know that can do this? Who owns your work? So that's right. This is one of the reasons it's important to have the names and emails of people who have bought your work in the past. Really important when possible to keep track of all your collectors. And so let's say you don't right now, Nicole, have names of many or hardly any. If there's just one or two, and even if you had to travel a little bit to go to, it's an event that if you can stir it up with one collector, can be very helpful just in one event. So let's see, Eva. Cool, this gives me an idea. I have 3 people coming over tonight for a sleepover, and I'm thinking I'll do an impromptu art talk, art unveiling, art show, intimate gathering, and wine and cheese. I like that, Eva. Please tell us about that. Keep us posted on that. That's right, because you see there's some drama in it, right? Before they come, something is veiled. The idea of unveiling, I think, is this very theatrical, dramatic, surprise. What is it? What is it? It piques our interest. So Eva, if you're doing that tonight, let us know how it turns out. We'd love to know. The whole topic of popping the question to a gallerist, one who knows where your friends and who likes your work, but never actually offers you a show. Okay. Yeah, good topic. Another topic. Yeah, great topic. Right. Which is a classic situation. I will do a talk on that topic, which is, as I understand, Gordon, and correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, someone, they're your friends, they're a colleague, they could offer you a show, they don't offer you a show, there's awkwardness there, you're trying to network with them, how to get beyond that. If that's correct, yeah, great question. I'll do a whole talk on that because, okay, great, Eva, glad you'll take photos. And would this work well to do with our own unveiling periodically for our own new work in our own home studio? Would this work periodically unveiling your own? Absolutely. It would work it in your own home studio, in your own home or studio or home studio. It would work. The only advantage to doing it in a collector's home is they bring some new friends, some new blood in there, and potentially people who have the money to buy. But in your own home, absolutely, you could do an unveiling, and I strongly encourage that. That sounds like a great idea. Andrew, something that I'd like to discuss is the benefits of having a dealer. Should I sell them paintings or let them? Yeah, Andrew. Okay, I'll do a whole talk in that, right? Dealer versus no dealer, dealer versus outsider selling your work outside. I mean, briefly, I think there you have the option today. I'm not against or overly supportive of the idea of dealers and galleries. They do take half the money of your art, but if they're selling a lot of it, well, that's great, right? Then you're making a living. But if they're not, then you're not. So, and there's so many avenues today to sell work online and share it in different ways that it's possible to do that. But it does take a certain personality type, I think, to keep selling your work, to keep getting money for your work, to manage all those transactions. It's nice to have a gallery do it. But I'll do a talk on the pros and cons of that. That's fair and a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point, Andrew. And Andrew, like you spoke in the studio visit the other day, the one person that bought one of your works potentially could be the one that does the unveiling as well. I think that would work with your work. And if you were explaining about the work, that there's an underpainting under this and more, be very interesting for people, an unveiling and to talk about your work, one painting. As it would be for anybody, for the public to know a little bit more about your work. It's fascinating. And this isn't just the public, it's a few select people. Could you do a talk on raffles and fundraising? Yeah. Great idea. Okay, we'll do. I could have a dealer, but sell to them in my regular fashion. Yes, that's true. There's a lot of ways of working with dealers, right? I mean, the rule generally is if your work is $1,000 out of your studio, it has to be $1,000 in the gallery, and people can't get a better deal if they buy it from you. It has to be the same price. But of course, if it sells for $1,000 in the gallery, you're only getting 500. You're getting half. But artists make up their own rules. Christo, the artist, that did all his amazing rapping, still does, and gates and bridges and all kinds of things. He doesn't work with any galleries at all, ever. Never has. Strange to think. Sells only out of his studio. And if a gallery does want to have a show of his, he says they have to buy everything outright from me. I don't want to work with anybody. I don't want to, he says he's kind of a control freak, and that's how he feels. So, there's a lot of ways to navigate it. And it's not because he's famous. That's how he's always done it, through his studio. I've seen this in some movie, right, Leslie? I think maybe about an auction house. It's very dramatic tactic, yes. Right, you can imagine it, right? From some movie scene, the people lined up and the unveiling, and maybe the gasp, but it's an exciting thing to do. All right, great, Andrew. Great. So Andrew, also, if you ask him and he has the unveiling, please keep us posted. Tell us how that works out. We want to know. Again, more's coming up here, you guys. Thanks for the great topics of discussion suggested today. I'll get to all of those. Those are 3 talks today that I'll schedule, and thanks for being supportive with each other. The biggest thing is you guys commenting on each other's posts positively, supportively. I think that helps everyone. So let's see. Any more questions? Could you say the name of the guy who won't have a gallery? The name of the guy was Christo and Jean-Claude. Those are the huge conceptual artists. Jean-Claude, of course, died several years ago, but Christo is the one who has done very huge dramatic projects like the gates in Central Park, or he's wrapped entire buildings or bridges. But he makes his living selling his drawings, actually. Christo, C-H-R-I-S-T-O. You're welcome, Nicole. Great to have you guys here. Great to be working on all these things with you. There'll be more studio visits coming up, and more surprises coming up. There's a new class coming out that you guys will have soon too, that comes with your membership. Nothing extra, that I'll be announcing really soon. Actually, Black Friday, you guys will get something special that you wouldn't have to pay for. But that's a surprise coming up. Another class. So one more question. Does it matter if the unveiling is for any probably larger art that they bought from us, or is it better for commission pieces? Oh, no, it doesn't have to be a commission piece at all. Absolutely not. Could be any kind of work of art, any kind of work of art at all. It could even be temporary. You could even say, look, I'm going to bring it over here, and we're just going to do this for the day, bring one piece in there. But yeah, work of art that they bought in the past, or a commission piece, but absolutely doesn't have to be commissioned. Yeah, positivity. That's right. All right, great to see you guys. Thanks so much for being great members, and look forward to interacting with everybody more and bringing you more resources. Thanks again, guys. Be well. Have a great day. Have a great holiday as well.